December soil can feel cold, tired, and lifeless, like it's given up on growing anything at all. But centuries ago, gardeners discovered a simple trick that quietly wakes the soil up, long before store-bought fertilizers existed. The surprising part? You don't need a garden store or fancy tools. Everything your soil needs might already be sitting in your kitchen, waiting to bring life back to your winter garden. My neighbor, Mrs. Eliza Harrow, 78 years old, soft-spoken, and tougher than the oldest oak in our neighborhood, has tended the same small garden for nearly 5 decades. Every winter, when most gardens look tired, gray, and lifeless, hers stays rich, fluffy, and ready for spring. I used to wonder if she had some secret fertilizer or expensive tools tucked away. One crisp December morning, I finally asked her what she did differently. She smiled, shook her head gently, and said it wasn't manure, compost, or anything you'd find at a garden store. It's something far simpler, she said. Something clean, natural, and kind to the soil. I was skeptical. How could something so ordinary create such extraordinary results? Yet, as she explained, her secret wasn't about buying the latest product or working harder. It was about understanding the soil, listening to it, and giving it exactly what it needs to wake up and thrive. Her eyes twinkled as she hinted at the method, but she didn't reveal everything just yet. You'll see, she said. Once you try it, your soil will feel alive again, even in the coldest months. I left her garden that day with curiosity buzzing in my mind and a notebook, ready to capture every detail. Because if a woman in her late 70s could make soil bloom when everyone else's lay dormant, then maybe I could do it too. And so could you. When I finally watched Mrs. Eliza Harrow work her winter garden, I realized the secret was beautifully simple and something anyone could do, even without a greenhouse or fancy tools. In December, she takes a few things we usually overlook in our kitchens and yards. She finely crushes dried leaves, those fallen, crispy treasures from autumn, and sprinkles them over the top layer of soil. Next, she adds a small handful of wood ash, saved from her kitchen stove, and a gentle scoop of compost made mostly from vegetable peels, tea leaves, and coffee grounds. Using just her hands or a soft, lightweight trowel, she works this mixture into the first few inches of soil. It's important to note, there's nothing harsh here. No strong chemicals, no pungent animal manure, no heavy lifting. Everything is mild, clean, and safe, even for someone with sensitive skin or arthritic hands. The tools are light and easy to handle, so prepping a bed in December doesn't strain the wrists or back. Why does this little ritual work so well? Each ingredient plays a quiet, steady role. Crushed leaves add organic matter, gently feeding the soil and giving it structure so it stays loose, fluffy, and welcoming for new roots in spring. Wood ash contains small amounts of potassium, one of the essential nutrients plants need to thrive. It's mild enough not to burn the soil, but enough to give a subtle boost. Vegetable scrap compost softens the soil, improves water retention, and feeds the tiny microbes that do all the hard work under the surface. The timing matters, too. By preparing the soil in December, the mixture sits quietly over the winter. Microbes slowly break down the organic matter while the cold prevents anything from going too fast. When spring arrives, the soil is soft, fertile, and alive, ready to welcome seeds and seedlings with minimal effort. Mrs. Eliza reassured me as she worked. This is gentle nourishment, not a strong fertilizer. It's perfect for small beds or containers, and it won't overwhelm your plants. I could see why her winter soil always looked so rich and healthy. It wasn't magic. It was patient care, layered in tiny, manageable steps. The beauty of this method is its simplicity. You don't need a large compost pile, expensive fertilizers, or complicated equipment. Everything is edible, biodegradable, or already part of your garden routine. And because it's gentle, even older gardeners, or anyone concerned about chemicals, can use it without worry. Watching her, I realized that gardening isn't just about growing food or flowers. It's about creating a rhythm with the soil, understanding its quiet needs, and giving it steady, loving attention. December may feel cold and lifeless, but with a little preparation, it can become a time when your garden quietly gathers strength for the seasons ahead. Why this works? When I asked Mrs. Eliza why her simple December soil trick worked, so well year after year. She smiled gently and explained it in a way that made perfect sense, but also reminded me how often we overlook the quiet life happening beneath our feet. Even in winter, when the garden looks still and lifeless, tiny microbes in the soil are quietly active. They don't stop working just because the air is cold. By adding a mixture of crushed leaves, a touch of wood ash, and light kitchen compost, you're giving these microbes something easy to feed on while they continue their slow, steady work under the surface. This keeps the soil alive, even in the coldest months, without any harsh fertilizers or chemicals. The mixture also serves another purpose. It protects the soil from compacting. Winter rain, frost, and even foot traffic can make the soil hard and crusty. A layer of organic matter acts like a soft blanket, keeping the soil loose and airy. This is crucial because roots need space to grow and breathe. When spring arrives, plants find soil that's already fluffy and ready to welcome new growth, a quiet head start that makes all the difference. Another subtle but powerful benefit is moisture retention. Many seniors, myself included, prefer to water less often during cold months, and hard, dry soil can make even small beds difficult to manage. Organic matter like leaves and kitchen compost holds moisture gently, reducing the risk of soil drying out too quickly. The soil becomes more forgiving, keeping plants healthier and making gardening less labor-intensive. Mrs. Eliza emphasized one point that stuck with me. This isn't a miracle, and it won't force your plants to grow faster than nature allows. It simply makes the soil more patient, more ready, and more willing to support life when the time is right. That honesty is comforting. There's no overpromising, no exaggerated claims, just natural improvement that works quietly, year after year, with gentle care. The lesson is simple. Gardening isn't about forcing results. It's about understanding the soil, supporting its natural rhythms, and giving it steady, consistent care. The December preparation teaches patience and attentiveness, and the soil rewards that care with subtle, long-lasting changes. You can feel the difference under your hands, soft, crumbly, and alive, even when the garden above looks still. For seniors, beginners, or anyone who wants low-stress gardening, this method has another hidden gift. It builds confidence. By December, even small efforts in soil care pay off in spring with healthier, more resilient beds. You're not chasing instant results. You're cultivating a slow, reliable rhythm with the garden. And that rhythm, as Mrs. Eliza quietly reminded me, is where the joy of gardening truly lives. Practical step-by-step guide. Now that you understand why December soil prep works, let's walk through it step by step. This is the part where the magic becomes practical, and you'll see just how simple it really is. Step 1. Collect dried leaves. Take a little time to gather fallen leaves from your yard or nearby areas. They don't need to be perfect. Any dried leaves will do. These leaves are packed with organic matter, and they're the first piece in giving your soil life over winter. Step 2. Crush the leaves. You can do this by hand, breaking them into smaller pieces, or gently use a rolling pin if you prefer. The goal is to make them easy to mix into the soil and give microbes more surface area to work on. No machines, no complicated tools, just simple, gentle crushing. Step 3. Add 1 to 2 tablespoons of wood ash. If you have a fireplace, stove, or wood-burning oven, you likely already have some saved ash. Wood ash provides a small boost of potassium and other minerals, helping your soil stay nourished. Measure lightly. The goal is just a gentle enhancement, not a heavy dose. Step 4. Incorporate vegetable scrap compost. This is where your kitchen scraps come in. Vegetable peels, coffee grounds, tea leaves, or small bits of fruit. Avoid anything too wet or spoiled. Add just enough to give the soil softness and extra food for microbes. Step 5. Mix lightly into the topsoil. Using your hands or a small trowel, fold everything into the first few inches of soil. Gentle mixing is key. You don't want to disturb the soil too deeply, just enough so that the leaves, ash, and compost are evenly distributed. Step 6. Cover with mulch. If you have extra leaves, straw, or another light mulch, spread a thin layer on top. This protects the soil from winter winds, reduces compaction, and keeps moisture in. Think of it as a soft blanket for your soil, letting it rest comfortably while it quietly strengthens. Step 7. Let winter do its work. This is where patience comes in. Unlike fertilizers that rush growth, this method lets the soil prepare naturally. Microbes slowly break down the organic matter. The structure improves, and when spring arrives, your soil is soft, fluffy, and ready for seeds or seedlings. The beauty of this process is its simplicity. If you can stir a bowl of soup or fold a small batch of ingredients into a salad, you can prepare your December soil. It's low effort, senior-friendly, and completely safe. No harsh chemicals, heavy lifting, or complicated routines. By following these steps, you're not just nourishing the soil, you're building a rhythm of care and attention, connecting with the garden in a way that feels natural and rewarding. Even small beds, balcony containers, or raised boxes benefit from this gentle preparation. And the satisfaction of touching soil that feels alive, soft, and ready for spring is a quiet joy that never gets old. By now, you've seen how a few simple, everyday things, fallen leaves, a pinch of wood ash, and some kitchen scraps, can quietly transform your winter soil. You've learned why this works, how it helps the microbes, improves soil structure, and prepares your garden for spring. But gardening is not just about following steps. It's about sharing knowledge, learning from others, and feeling part of a community that values the earth and the joy it brings. So here's a gentle question for you. Have you ever used simple household materials to help your soil? Perhaps coffee grounds, eggshells, or leftover vegetable scraps. Maybe you have a trick you've relied on for decades, passed down from your parents or neighbors. Whatever it is, your wisdom matters. Sharing it could help someone who's struggling with tired soil, winter frost, or plants that just won't seem to thrive. Seniors, in particular, have a lifetime of gardening experience that younger gardeners can learn so much from. Maybe you've discovered ways to soften clay soil without chemicals. Or perhaps you have a method to keep your raised beds warm through December and January. Every small insight can make a huge difference for someone else. Think of your garden as not just a place to grow vegetables or flowers, but as a living classroom. Every technique you've learned, every observation you've made about how soil, weather, and plants interact, is a lesson worth sharing. When you post it in the comments, someone else can try it, improve on it, and pass it forward. In that way, the gardening community grows as much as the plants in our beds. And remember, there's no wrong answer here. This isn't about competition or who has the most impressive harvest. It's about connection, connecting with the soil, connecting with the seasons, and connecting with each other. Even a simple note like, "I always add a handful of leaves in December, and it keeps my soil soft," can spark inspiration for someone who's feeling discouraged about their garden. You might also find that sharing your tricks brings joy to you, too. Talking about your experiences, remembering little victories, and reflecting on the gardens you've nurtured over the years can be just as rewarding as planting a new seed. There's a quiet pride in knowing that what you've learned can help others, and that gardening wisdom doesn't have to be kept to yourself. So take a moment, scroll down, and share your favorite frugal gardening trick. Have you discovered a way to recycle kitchen scraps, improve soil, or care for plants without heavy lifting or chemicals? Someone reading your comment could be inspired to try something new this winter, and you might just start a chain of shared wisdom that spreads across neighborhoods, towns, or even countries. As I watched Mrs. Eliza Harrow gently work her winter garden, she paused and looked over the soil, a soft smile on her face. "Good soil is just tired land waiting for a little kindness," she said. The word stuck with me. There's a quiet dignity in tending the earth, not rushing it, not forcing it, but giving it steady care and attention. The older we get, the more we understand that gentle things often grow the strongest roots. It's true for people and plants alike. Just as Mrs. Harrow patiently prepares her soil each December, the wisdom, patience, and love we invest, whether in gardens, hobbies, or relationships, produces lasting, beautiful results. Think about the gardens you've tended over the years. Maybe a plot you've cared for since childhood, or a window box you've nurtured through many winters. Each leaf turned, each handful of compost added, each careful sprinkle of water contributes quietly to something bigger than ourselves. It's a rhythm of care and attention, a gentle conversation with the soil. And in that rhythm, we find connection, fulfillment, and joy. Even the smallest acts, mixing leaves into the soil, adding a pinch of kitchen compost, sprinkling a bit of ash, carry meaning. They teach patience. They show that we can support life in subtle, enduring ways. And when spring arrives, the garden reflects that care, with roots strong enough to support leaves, flowers, and fruits for months to come. So, as you prepare your December soil this year, remember, it's not just about growth above the surface. It's about honoring the earth, honoring yourself, and letting gentle, consistent care produce the quiet miracles that only time can reveal. If this simple December soil trick inspired you, here's a gentle way to keep the joy going. Give this video a like. It lets us know you're enjoying these gardening tips. Share it with another gardener who loves frugality, simplicity, and the quiet satisfaction of watching soil come alive again. And if you haven't already, subscribe to the Evergreen Seniors, where wisdom grows deeper, gardens grow sweeter, and each video is made to honor your experience, your patience, and your love for the land. Gardening is a journey, not a race. Every little act of care counts, from crushing leaves to adding a handful of compost, to gently stirring the soil. By sharing this knowledge, by taking a moment to apply it, you're participating in a cycle of growth that connects past, present, and future gardeners. We hope that as you follow these steps, your winter soil feels alive again, your beds are ready for spring, and your garden becomes a place of calm, joy, and quiet accomplishment. Remember, gentle care produces the strongest roots, and the simple acts of attention we give to our soil are reflections of the patience, wisdom, and dignity we carry through life.